Let's talk about balancing seasonal traffic with evergreen content for consistent website growth. Hi, I'm Susanna from Smart Pick Marketing, and today is all about traffic. In particular, we're going to look at two different methods of getting traffic: quick seasonal spikes versus a slower growth evergreen traffic strategy, and why you really want to employ both to continue to see a steady stream of traffic to your website, a steady stream of new people finding out about you, coming to see what you have to say, and hopefully entering your funnel, getting on your list, and buying your products and services in the progress. So let's dive right in by talking a little bit more about seasonal traffic. Both of these strategies have their advantages and disadvantages, but when we combine them, we can really see the magic happen. So, seasonal growth. There we have spikes that are usually caused by something, by an event, by a season, by a holiday, that kind of thing. And we can find these sort of spikes and what these topics are by looking at Google Trends. But let me run you through a couple of pretty common examples. So one of them would be back to school. I'm recording this in early August, and we're definitely in full, back to school season is in full swing. Usually we tend to see spikes on this kind of content go up around July and then really peak in August. And you can find all kinds of keyword spiking, product names, all those kinds of things. I actually wrote a companion blog post to this where I go into a little bit more detail, and you can find a link to the blog post in the description to this video below. Another good example is Halloween costumes. That's something that really starts to spike in September and peaks around October. And then, of course, by October 31st, it's all done and over with. And it's not just costumes, it's also decor, for example. Another one, as we continue to go along in the year, is holiday gifts. It used to be after Thanksgiving. Now it's pretty much by the time Halloween is over with, we start getting serious about thinking about holiday gifts. So we really see that ramp up through November and December. And then, of course, come January, everybody is searching for content related to different New Year's resolutions. So as you can see, there is these seasonal trends and spikes that you can pretty much follow throughout the year, depending on your niche. But there are also spikes around certain news, certain events. We just wrapped up the Olympics. There was a lot of traffic and a lot of searches that rose up related around the Olympics in various ways, shapes, or form. So if you have a way to tap into that and make it relevant to your niche, to your business, to what you talk about, you can really tap into these short seasonal type of traffic trends using, again, Google Trends to help you find them. So the benefits, why would you want to do this? The spikes in traffic. You can very quickly rank for something and get a ton of traffic to your site in the moment. It's also something where you can grab some very high interest customers, around September, October. If I'm searching for Halloween type stuff, I'm ready to buy a costume. I'm ready to buy a couple of cute pumpkins to put out on my porch, that kind of thing. So you have a very engaged audience, and they're very engaged because you're there at the right time in the right place. And you can also create some content that really resonates. So even if you have a marketing blog and you were able to pull out some lessons from the Olympics, it's something that was in our combined conscious, almost a global conscience, and you can sort of really tap into something and create a piece of content that resonates with people because you're tapping into a shared experience there. But this type of content also isn't without its challenges. One thing is it's very temporary. The Halloween content isn't going to do much for you outside of September and October. And, that cool lesson and that cool piece of content you created around the lesson you've learned from the Olympics isn't going to resonate the same way and isn't going to draw the same type of attention now that the Olympics are over. You can bring it back in 2 years when the Winter Olympics come around, but outside of those spikes, it's not going to do you quite as much good. And then also, if you chase these trends, if you follow from one spike to the next, you're going to be continually creating more content. So it's constant content creation, chasing these spikes. So let's look at evergreen content on the other side. So it's the other side of the coin. So it's really the backbone of your site and the backbone of any content marketing strategy. It's what's there for the long-term growth. Some of the benefits are that if you're tapping into a good piece of a good evergreen topic, it's going to stay relevant for months and years to come. It's going to have consistent searches if you've done a little bit of keyword research and made sure you focused on the right types of terms and you're answering the right kinds of questions, providing the content that people are actually looking for. It will also give you a gradual buildup of traffic as you continue to add these evergreen pieces of content to your website. Depending on your niche and what's going on, it usually involves less updating, unless you're in a fast-moving niche like for right now, for example, anything in the field of AI feels like it changes on almost a weekly, monthly basis. But for most evergreen topics, you won't have to do a whole lot of updating. So this is actually, aside from the specific examples I'm using, a great piece of evergreen content, because the basics of having seasonal traffic versus evergreen content, the basics of it don't really change much. And then also the evergreen content is really going to be the core of your SEO, search engine optimization strategy. These are going to be the cornerstone pieces of content that will be there for a long time, that you will continue to promote, continue to send links to, and then as time goes by, these pieces of content will build the authority that will benefit your entire site. So some examples of evergreen pieces of content are guides and tutorials. They can also be case studies. Where can you show something to somebody and how to do it? That doesn't really change much. And they're often based on questions. So pay attention to what your audience asks about. Where do they need help? What do they want to do? And you can also take a look, of course, at keyword research. As I mentioned, you can get some great ideas for content there that you can then create and optimize for search engines. So what I want you to take away here is that we have these two strategies, but it's not an either or question, because they really complement each other. You can get traffic now with the seasonal stuff, the trending stuff, while also continuing to build growth for later. So one way to look at this is with the seasonal traffic, the in-the-moment kind of stuff, where you connect with your target audience in this shared experience. This is often the stuff that we share on social media that other people will share and spread around. So we have the social signals there that are important for SEO, while also growing the authority with these cornerstone pieces of content. So we really want to do both. We want to merge them both. One way to maximize seasonal traffic is you want to create it by looking at something that makes sense right now in this moment, looking ahead, maybe planning out your seasonal pieces of content based on what makes sense for you throughout the year, or tapping into a news story, that kind of thing. So you create it, and then you want to promote it, sharing it out on social media. Again, it's going to be a little bit easier to get people to engage with this type of content. And then you want to really focus on converting this traffic. So when you have that spike of traffic, You want to work on getting them on your list. You want to work on turning them into paying customers. You want to, at the very least, get them engaged and interacting with your other more evergreen type of content. But ideally, get them on the list so you can continue to reach out to them throughout the year. And then with the evergreen content, you really want to build an evergreen content strategy. Be strategic about it. What do you want out of this? So there you want to start by identify those core pieces of content, the core topics, the questions, the keywords that you want to build this SEO strategy or this content creation strategy around. Then once you have identified what these evergreen pieces of content are going to be, you want to spend some time creating them. And here it doesn't hurt to really put a lot of effort into it, to share everything you can share about it. This is going to be the longer blog post. This is going to be the blog post that you maybe even create an infographic for, or spend a little bit more time creating various different images for, because you know it's going to be there and it's going to serve you for a long time. And then you also, after you publish it, you want to continually promote it. You want to send out a reminder through social media or on your list and keep pointing people back to this awesome resource that you have created and help it age well over time. Every once in a blue moon, you might want to pop in there and see if there's something you need to update. Make sure any links that you have in there are working. Ideally, you're going to have a call to action in there that invites somebody to join your list or promotes one of your products. Make sure those links continue to work and just keep going from there and keep growing. So what I want you to take away from this video is you really want to integrate both strategies and you want to plan for the long term. So I would love to hear what you think about this video. If you enjoyed it, of course, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And tell me in the comments, what do you think about this? Is this something you have thought about? Is this something you want to maybe integrate moving forward? Let's chat in the comments. Let's talk about how we can make this work for our particular businesses. And then, of course, I would also love it if you could subscribe to the channel. That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this little discussion on short-term versus long-term traffic strategies and why you really want to deploy both and make them work together. I hope it was helpful.